Today's video is brought to you by seedsnow.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back to AMTV News. I'm your anchor, Topher Morrison. It is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2013, and this is your daily full-spectrum news blitz. Our first story today in news and politics: friends don't let friends spy. The latest fallout from the Edward Snowden's NSA whistleblowing potentially threatens negotiation to establish the largest free trade bloc in history between the European Union and the United States. In Europe, Germany is allegedly the biggest target of the NSA's PRISM program, according to Snowden. The EU at large, after debugging their offices, have all but offered scathing rebukes of Obama's policies and reject the U.S.'s reckless appetite for info. They call it essentially a severe Cold War hangover prosecuted by a neo-KGB. Ecuador has said it was a mistake helping Snowden and isn't offering any help any longer. Russia, however, offers the NSA fugitive asylum on one condition, according to President Vladimir Putin, only if he stops, quote, harming our American partners. He literally just said, "I can't believe that's coming out of my mouth," which leaves the only country left, Iceland. I wonder whether he'll go. And in our next story in history news, on this day in history, the steam engine patent was put into force. Thomas Newcomen invented how to force steam to run an engine, but in 1698, Thomas Savery patented it. The steam engine was to become the epitome of the Industrial Revolution, harnessing the energy of nature to do man's bidding. Ambient scientific knowledge, specifically atmospheric weight, met technological curiosity and economic opportunity amidst a supportive social environment, which is to say, pride and prejudice of government and society didn't stop the two from rocking the boat. The original patent was for 14 years. In our next story in geopolitical news, U.S. taxpayer money funding rape in Egypt. Egypt is in chaos once again, but Tahrir Square has never been quiet since before the end of 3 decades of U.S.-sponsored autocratic rule under Hosni Mubarak and the 2011 Arab Spring. But current president of Egypt, Mohamed Morsi, is no different. He's augmented his own powers, shirked checks and balances, refused a constitution, elevated Islamists, and institutionalized corruption around the country. Christians are rising up against extremists in the south. The Muslim Brotherhood headquarters was ransacked in the north. But 99% of the country's women, according to the UN, report either sexual harassment or assault. And most Egyptians still believe it's a crime to worship another god besides Allah. All the while, U.S. taxpayer dollars keep flowing, and it's the reason Barack Obama, with a straight face, can still call for early elections in a foreign country. And in our next story in tech and science news, transplanting human heads. According to the Italian scientist Sergio Carnevero, the man who brought you the transplanted face, it's possible. Evidently, the school of head transplants stretches back to the 1950s and was first experimented on with dogs. The procedure, when applied to humans, would aid those suffering from muscular dystrophy or tetraplegics with widespread organ failure, reports the New York Daily News. So, how is it done? In short, nearly freeze 2 bodies, cut their heads off with the world's sharpest knife, at the same time, and fuse the spinal cords with polyethylene glycol. Another walk in the park. And in our last story today, Obama's Syrian debacle. For years, the Syrian conflict has been an astroturf revolution, to be sure. Jihadists from around the region have flooded the country as Shia militias pour in to support the Assad regime. That is one level. Then there's a larger geopolitical chess game sucking in the world powers, namely the West with US and Europe versus the new Eastern alliances, Russia, Iran, and China, engaged for all intents and purposes in a miniature World War III. In the middle of all of this is nearly 100,000 dead Syrians, and now pogroms sweep the country as Barack Obama backs a fictitious Free Syrian Army. Today it was confirmed by the Vatican that a Catholic bishop, Francois Mourad, was decapitated. How close does Mr. Obama want to get to this conflict? Capturing every corner of the alternative media, watch AMTV News Monday through Friday. Got a tip or an interesting news clip? Shoot me an email at tophermorrison@amtvmedia.com. Follow me on Twitter at AMTV News and like me on Facebook at The Real Topher Morrison. Find my source material and more videos like these at AMTV Media and greenwave.com. Both are part of the AMTV network. This is AMTV News, the voice of independence.